welcome back to my channel, The Coins World. Today, we are taking a deep and engaging journey into the history of the Liberty Jefferson nickel 5-cent dated 1980, with the P mint mark, a coin that represents a turning point between the economic struggles of the 1970s and the modern transformation of America in the 1980s. Although this nickel is often overlooked, its weight, value, and historical background reveal a story that is far richer and more meaningful than many people realize. The 1980p Jefferson nickel has a standard weight of 5 grams and is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a durable alloy that has remained unchanged for decades. In 1980, the United States was facing high inflation, rising energy costs, and uncertainty in everyday life. Coins were still an essential part of daily transactions, and the nickel played a vital role in vending machines, public transportation, payphones, and small purchases. Every 5-cent piece mattered, and the Jefferson nickel was a constant companion in the pockets of millions of Americans. The design of the Jefferson nickel carries deep, symbolic meaning, rooted in liberty and independence. The obverse features Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. His image represents freedom, wisdom, and leadership, values that remained important during a time of national challenge. The reverse design depicts Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home, symbolizing knowledge, culture, and the foundations of American democracy. In 1980, these symbols quietly reminded the nation of its core principles. During a period of transition, from a collector's perspective, the value of the 1980p Jefferson nickel depends largely on condition and strike quality. Circulated examples are extremely common and usually worth face value, but uncirculated coins with strong original luster, clean surfaces, and sharp details attract much greater interest. High-grade coins certified by professional grading services can sell for premiums above face value. Collectors also search for exciting mint errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, clipped blankets, and unusual surface flaws, which can significantly increase a coin's value and desirability. Beyond its collectible value, the 1980p Jefferson nickel tells a powerful story of everyday American life at the dawn of a new decade. These coins passed through countless hands while history unfolded around them, witnessing economic hardship, cultural change, and the slow shift toward modern technology. Many examples remain tucked away in old collections, coin jars, and bank rolls, waiting to be rediscovered. The 1980p Liberty Jefferson nickel reminds us that even modern 5-cent coins can carry deep historical importance, connecting us to the past and preserving the enduring spirit of American liberty. And that could completely change how you look at an everyday nickel. What if a single 5-cent coin, quietly stored in a drawer or mixed into loose change, is worth far more than anyone around you realizes? Right after this introduction, remember this carefully. If you own the 1965 Liberty Jefferson nickel, it might turn the tables for you. Stay with this video until the very end, because we are revealing its true value, its official weight, and how much it is worth today on eBay, other online platforms, and major auctions, along with how people are successfully selling it. The 1965 Jefferson nickel was struck during one of the most important transition periods in United States coinage history. In 1965, the U.S. Mint removed silver from dimes and quarters, but the Jefferson nickel kept its traditional composition. This coin is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a solid feel and long-lasting durability. The official weight of the 1965 Jefferson nickel is exactly 5 grams, a detail collectors often use to identify authentic examples, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the front and Monticello on the reverse. The design was created by Felix Schlag and remained unchanged for decades. Millions of 1965 nickels were produced, and most were heavily circulated. Because of this, common circulated examples usually sell for face value or slightly more on eBay and similar platforms. However, the market changes quickly when condition becomes a factor, and circulated 1965 Jefferson nickels with strong luster, clean surfaces, and sharp details attract consistent interest online. Recent eBay sold listings show high quality uncirculated examples selling from $15 to over $50. Coins that have been professionally graded and certified often achieve higher prices, as buyers are willing to pay more for confirmed condition and authenticity. the real premiums appear with exceptional strike quality. Collectors carefully examine the steps of Monticello on the reverse. When all steps are clearly visible and uninterrupted, the coin becomes far more desirable. Auction results show that 1965 Jefferson nickels with strong full steps designations have sold for several $100s, and in top certified grades, some auction prices have climbed into the four-figure range. Mint errors from 1965 also add another layer of value. Off-center strikes, doubled details, clipped blankets, and other striking errors have appeared on online platforms and specialized auctions. These error coins often sell for hundreds of dollars, depending on the type and visibility of the mistake. Now think back to what was said at the beginning. If you have this coin, it might truly turn the tables for you. The key is knowing exactly what you own and choosing the right way to sell it. Many sellers use eBay for global exposure. Today's video starts with a simple thought that could completely change the way you see an ordinary nickel. What if a 5-cent coin, often ignored and casually spent, is actually worth far more than its face value? Right after this introduction, remember this carefully. If you own the 1973 Liberty Jefferson nickel, it might turn the tables for you. Stay with this video until the very end, because we are uncovering its real value, its official weight, and how much it is worth today on eBay, other online platforms, and major auctions, along with how collectors are selling it successfully. The 1973 Jefferson nickel was struck during a period of economic uncertainty in the United States, just before the major changes that would reshape the economy in the mid-1970s. Despite inflation and rising metal costs, the mint continued producing Jefferson nickels using the traditional copper-nickel composition. The 1973 Jefferson nickel is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, and its official weight is exactly 5 grams. An important detail collectors use when checking authenticity. The design features Thomas Jefferson on the front and Monticello on the reverse, created by Felix Schlag. By 1973, this design had become a familiar part of everyday American life. Millions of these nickels entered circulation, which explains why most examples today are heavily worn and easy to overlook. In circulated condition, these coins usually sell for face value or just a small premium on eBay and similar platforms. Value changes quickly when condition improves. Uncirculated 1973 Jefferson nickels with strong luster, clean surfaces, and sharp details regularly sell online for $10 to $40. Coins that have been professionally graded often achieve higher prices because buyers trust the grading and are willing to compete for quality. Examples. Collectors also focus on strike quality, especially the steps of Monticello on the reverse. When the steps are fully visible and uninterrupted, the coin becomes significantly more desirable. Auction records show that 1973 Jefferson nickels with strong full steps designations have sold for several $100s, and in top certified grades, some have reached into the low four-figure range at major auctions. Mint errors add another layer of value to this coin. Off-center strikes, doubled die details, clipped blankets, and other striking errors from 1973 have appeared on eBay and specialized auction platforms. Depending on the error type and condition, these coins can sell for hundreds of dollars, sometimes even more when collectors compete. Online demand for Jefferson nickels has grown steadily, with collectors searching daily for high-quality modern dates that were once ignored. This growing interest has helped push prices upward, particularly for uncirculated and certified examples. Now remember what was promised at the beginning. If you have this coin, we are talking about a small copper coin that many people overlook, yet collectors search for it every single day. Somewhere in an old piggy bank, drawer, or inherited collection, there could be a 1949 D Liberty Lincoln wheat penny waiting to be noticed. It looks simple, it feels ordinary, but do not let that fool you. If you have this coin, it might turn the tables for you. Stick around until the very end, because just like promised after the intro, you will discover its real weight, its true value according to eBay and other online platforms and auctions, and exactly how you can sell it the right way. The Liberty Lincoln wheat penny holds a special place in American history. Introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, it became the first United States coin to feature a real historical figure. By the time 1949 arrived, America was stepping into a new era after World War II. The nation was rebuilding, industries were booming, and everyday coins like this penny passed through millions of hands during a time of hope and change. On the front of the 1949 wheat penny. Abraham Lincoln's portrait appears calm yet strong, symbolizing unity and resilience. The word liberty is positioned to the left, while in God we trust runs along the top edge. The date 1949 marks an important post-war period, and just below the date sits the D Mint mark, identifying this coin as being struck at the Denver Mint. That small letter plays a big role in determining interest and value among collectors. The reverse of the coin displays the iconic wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. This design represented prosperity and agricultural strength, values that were deeply meaningful to Americans during the mid-20th century. The wheat penny design was nearing the end of its historic run, making later dates like 1949 especially interesting to numismatists. In terms of specifications, the 1949 Liberty Lincoln wheat penny weighs approximately 3.11 grams. It is composed primarily of copper, giving it that warm reddish-brown color collectors love. Over time, circulation wear can slightly reduce weight, so checking it can also help determine how much use the coin has seen. When it comes to value, condition is everything. Based on recent eBay sales and online auction results, heavily circulated 1949 wheat pennies usually sell for modest amounts. However, coins in higher grades with sharp details, clean surfaces, and original color can sell for significantly more. Uncirculated examples with full mint luster often attract strong bids from serious collectors. Errors and varieties take this coin to another level. Some 1949 pennies show doubled lettering, die cracks, or other striking anomalies. These errors are far scarcer than standard issues and are highly sought after. Verified error coins have sold for impressive prices on auction platforms, especially when supported. Today we are diving into a humble copper coin that quietly traveled through one of the toughest chapters in American history, somewhere in an old jar, a family collection, or a forgotten drawer. A 1934 Liberty 1 cent wheat penny could be resting unnoticed. It looks simple, it feels ordinary, but if you have this coin, it might turn the tables for you. Stick around until the very end, because just like promised after the intro, you will learn its real weight, its true value according to eBay and other online platforms and auctions, and exactly how you can sell it the smart way. The 1934 wheat penny was minted during the Great Depression, a time when every cent truly mattered. Money circulated heavily, and coins like this one passed from hand to hand as Americans struggled, worked, and rebuilt their lives. This historical backdrop adds powerful meaning to the coin, making it more than just currency and turning it into a small piece of living history. The front of the coin features Abraham Lincoln, strong and thoughtful, representing unity and endurance during difficult times. The word liberty appears clearly to the left, while in God we trust arches across the top. The date 1934 sits at the bottom, and just below it you will find the D Mint mark, showing that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. That tiny letter plays a big role when collectors evaluate desirability and market value. On the reverse, the classic wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America. This design symbolized agricultural strength and economic hope, values that were deeply important during the Depression era. By 1934, the wheat penny had already become an American icon, and Denver Mint issues remain especially popular with collectors today. In terms of specifications, the 1934 Liberty wheat penny has an official weight of about 3.11 grams. It is made primarily of copper, giving it that familiar reddish-brown tone. Coins that remain close to this weight often show less wear, which can positively influence their value on online marketplaces and auctions. Now let us talk about value. According to recent eBay sales and auction results, a heavily circulated 1934 wheat penny usually sells for a modest amount. However, examples in better condition with sharp details, minimal wear, and attractive color can sell for significantly more. Uncirculated coins with original mint luster often attract strong bidding activity from collectors looking to complete high-grade sets. Error coins and varieties are where this penny can truly surprise people. Some 1934 pennies show doubled lettering, repunched mint marks, or die cracks. These varieties are far less common and can command much higher prices, especially when the coin is authenticated and clearly photographed. Verified error examples have achieved impressive results across multiple online auction platforms. If you are thinking about selling, presentation is everything. Clear, close-up photos. We are uncovering a small copper coin that many people overlook, yet collectors quietly hunt for it every single day. Somewhere in your home, mixed in old change or resting in a forgotten collection, there could be a 1937 Liberty wheat penny waiting to be noticed. If you have this coin, it might turn the tables for you. So stick around until the end, because just like promised after the intro, you will discover its real weight, its current worth according to eBay and other online platforms and auctions, and exactly how you can sell it the right way. The 1937 wheat penny was produced during a time when America was slowly recovering from the Great Depression. The economy was stabilizing, jobs were returning, and everyday coins like this one played an essential role in daily life. Millions of these pennies circulated through markets, factories, and households, carrying with them the story of a nation, rebuilding itself step by step. On the front of the coin, Abraham Lincoln appears calm and dignified, a symbol of strength and unity. The word liberty is clearly visible to the left, with "In God We Trust" across the top and the date 1937 at the bottom. This classic design, introduced in 1909, was the first American coin to feature a real historical figure, which instantly made it iconic and highly collectible. Turning the coin over reveals the famous wheat ears framing 1 cent and United States of America. This reverse design honored America's agricultural roots and remained in use until 1958. For collectors, the clarity of these wheat stalks is a key detail, because sharper lines usually indicate less wear and stronger market value. The standard weight of a 1937 Liberty wheat penny is approximately 3.11 grams, as it was struck in a copper alloy composition. Coins that retain this weight and show minimal surface damage often perform better on auction platforms, especially when paired with strong visual detail and natural color. Now let us talk about value, because this is where things get interesting. Based on recent eBay listings, online marketplace sales, and auction results, most circulated 1937 wheat pennies sell for modest amounts. However, coins in higher grades with clear lettering, strong wheat lines, and minimal wear can sell for noticeably more. Uncirculated examples with original mint shine are especially desirable and often draw competitive bidding. What truly excites collectors are varieties and errors. The 1937 wheat penny is known for certain double die details and die cracks, and while these are not found on every coin, they can significantly increase value when verified. Error coins, especially those authenticated by professional grading services, have achieved impressive prices across multiple online platforms. If you plan to sell your coin, accurate information and honest presentation are essential. Clear photos of both sides, the exact weight, and a straightforward description help buyers feel confident. For higher quality coins, today we are uncovering one of the most powerful and emotionally rich stories in American coin history as we explore the Liberty wheat penny 1 cent dated 1944, a coin whose weight, value, and background are deeply connected to World War II and the strength of the American people. This small copper coin carries a massive historical impact, making it one of the most interesting and meaningful pennies ever produced. The 1944 Liberty wheat penny has a standard weight of 3.11 grams and is made primarily of copper, with small amounts of tin and zinc. This composition alone makes the 1944 penny special, because just 1 year earlier, in 1943, the U.S. Mint produced steel pennies to conserve copper for the war effort. In 1944, copper returned, and many of these pennies were struck using recycled copper, including melted down shell casings from military ammunition. This powerful detail connects the 1944 wheat penny directly to the battlefield, turning it into a symbol of sacrifice, victory, and national unity. Historically, 1944 was a decisive year in World War II. Allied forces landed on D-Day, and momentum began to shift toward victory. At home, Americans were working long hours in factories, rationing food and fuel, and supporting soldiers overseas. The wheat penny remained an essential part of daily life, used to buy bread, newspapers, and basic necessities. These coins passed through millions of hands, silently witnessing the hopes, fears, and determination of a nation at war. The design of the wheat penny adds even more meaning to this coin. Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse symbolized leadership, honesty, and freedom, values that resonated deeply during wartime. The reverse design, featuring 2 wheat stalks, represented agriculture, nourishment, and abundance, reminding Americans that farmers and food production were just as vital to victory as soldiers on the front lines. Together, These elements made the 1944 wheat penny a quiet message of resilience and hope. From a collector's perspective, the value of the 1944 wheat penny depends greatly on condition and mint mark. While millions were produced, circulated examples are common, but uncirculated coins with bright red original luster are far more valuable. High-grade coins, certified by professional grading services, can sell for strong premiums. Collectors also search for rare mint errors and varieties, including double dies and off-metal strikes. One of the most famous rarities tied to this year is the extremely rare 1944 steel cent, mistakenly struck on leftover steel plankets from 1943, which can be worth a fortune. Beyond price and rarity, the true magic of the 1944 Liberty wheat penny lies in its story. Each coin represents a moment when even the smallest objects were part of a global struggle. Many of these pennies still survive in collections, jars, and family keepsakes, carrying the spirit of wartime America. The 1944 wheat penny proves that a single